Good day to you. uh, Today we will have the free webinar on African real estate overview and outlook for investment, how to invest in Africa. Today our also board members of the FIABCI World Council of Experts are busy, so they cannot come to do the moderate as a moderators. So I will be the moderator myself for this time. And this webinar is run by our FIABCI World Council of Experts. We have FIABCI have many councils. We have Council of Valuers, Council of Experts, Council of Property, Council of Property Managers, Council of Brokers. This is one of the largest council of brokers, and Council of other things like engineer, architect, something. So this is our Council of Experts, where I am the president. So there are activities of many other council as well. Oh, another really large council is the Council of Developers. Large, biggest developers in Indonesia, in the Philippines, in Taiwan, in Singapore, in Malaysia. They are all in this FIABCI World Council of Developers and many other as well. So as you may know that our president of FIABCI is an Italian now. His name is Mr. Antonio Campaioli. Please listen again. Mr. Antonio Campaioli. He is an Italian. And his father in 2005 or something, 2010 or something, he was also elected as the world president. So this is a son and father world president in FIABCI history. And this is a very great honor. I also one of the one who vote for his father and also himself, Mr. Antonio Campaioli. Yes. And another thing we should know is that we have a Secretary General, a young man, and also very handsome. His name is Mr. Narek Araklian. Mr. Narek Araklian. So he is our Secretary General of FIABCI. And he has been great contributors in our staff members in FIABCI. He based in Dubai and also in Paris. Yeah. So you may remember two names. First is Mr. Antonio Campaioli, the world president of this year. Next year, the world president will be Madame Lily Chang from Taiwan, Republic of Taiwan, Republic of China, yeah, from Taiwan, Madame Lily Chang. And also we change the presidency every year. And another name you should know is Mr. Narek Araklian, our Secretary General. So anyone who would like to be a member of FIABCI, you can contact Mr. Narek Araklian. Okay. So this session will be about the free webinars on African real estate overview and outlook for investment. And we have three speakers. And the three speakers, I have the CV of each of them. The first one is Mr.Akin Opatola, the FIABCI Nigeria president, the president of FIABCI Nigeria. Allow me to briefly read about his CV, his brief introduction. Mr. Akin Opatola is an estate surveyor, property valuers, and also respected real estate executive strategist through leaders with over 2 decades of experience in real estate, property development, valuation, investment advisory, and consulting. Yeah, so this is his role according to his CV. You can read more in details later if you like. And the second speaker is Mr. David Muiru. He is from Kenya. Mr. Muiru this managing director of Gimco Limited, and he is a registered and licensed valuers in Kenya, and also real estate consultant and do valuation across Africa. And he has done over 4 decades, amazing, 4 decades in real estate property industry across East and Central and African, Western Africa. So this is what he has done. When I was in Uganda, he also kindly visited me in Uganda as well, because Uganda and Kenya are somewhat next to each other, like neighbors. So this is the value. He is a valuer in particularly complex properties, feasibility study, and something else. So this is Mr. David Muiru. And then the last one is Mr. Alozius Gonza. Mr. Alozius Gonza. Mr. Alozius Gonza is executive director of the GMT Consult Limited. Okay. He is a distinguished scholar and also practitioner in real estate management, sciences, and sustainable development. Very interesting. Sustainable development, maybe today, maybe we call ESG, environmental, social, and governance, ESG. And he is currently a PhD candidate. Soon will be a doctor from Durban University of Technology, DUT in South Africa. And his doctoral research focus on developing real estate investment framework and analyzing decision-making process of business. So this is his PhD dissertation that will be coming soon. Okay. So now we will have this webinar on this African real estate overview and outlook for investment. And myself is Sopon Chokchai. I'm the president of FIABCI World Council of Experts, and also president of FIABCI Thailand. Okay, Sopon Chokchai. If I were Christian or Catholic, maybe my name should be Bruno, but you can call me Sopon. Okay, so we may start with Mr. Akin, our FIABCI Nigerian president, on this. So you have some presentation. Maybe you can click on your own presentation so that you can make your presentation yourself. We have around 15 minutes for you, and then everyone 15 minutes, and then we will have some Q&A or maybe another round. So the floor is yours, Mr. Akin Opatola, FIABCI Nigeria President, please. Are you still with me?
Yes. Can you
Yes,
can you hear me now? I'm trying to unmute. Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. Yes, I hear you now.
President, World Council of Experts, for putting this excellent webinar together. I want to wish everyone good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever part of the world you are listening to me from. The topic, African real estate, an overview and outlook for investment. But before I continue, Dr. Supun, I'm having challenges sharing my screen, so I don't know if you can do it from your end.
Okay.
Yes, it's just about 10 slides. I'll just run through it real quick. If you can, that would just be awesome. So
Okay.
I would also like to greet my fellow speakers and colleagues, professional colleagues within the African space, Mr. David Muiru from Uganda and Mr. Alozius Gonza from Kenya. I greet you warmly. So first things first, as we all know, there are about 54 countries in Africa. I tell people that, look, the continent is not just rich in resources, but also in resilience, creativity, and economic potential. So, population of Africa, arguably about 1.3, 1.4 billion. And I tell people that, look, Africa, the time for Africa is not just for the future. The time for Africa is now. Within the next, by 2030, UN has estimated our population of Africa to grow at least to at least 100%. So we're looking at a population of close to 2.5, 2.6 billion by 2030. That is huge. Urbanization rates within Africa is one of the largest we've seen across the other continents. It's closer to 4%. So, Dr. Supun, thank you for having my slide. So you can just keep on taking it.
Yes.
You can just keep on taking it from slide to slide.
Yes, you can tell me which next page we will move it for you.
So next page, please. So this is just me and a few. So Africa is not now. Africa is the future. Africa is not the future. Africa is now. Next slide, please. Awesome. So Africa currently has about 1.4 billion and growing. By about 2050, our population is likely to rise to about 2.5 billion. So, and maybe 60% of that will be living in cities. So we can just even imagine what that will do in terms of infrastructure, in terms of projects, residential, retail, the accommodation, the needs of these. And you can begin to look at the investment outlook in terms of these numbers. 2, urban expansion. I've spoken about 4% urbanization rate, massive demand for housing, infrastructure, and investment capital. Next slide, please. So here I'll give an overview of regional growth. So if we look at, and I'll take it region to region. So the first region is North Africa. We've seen mega city projects across Egypt and Morocco. Egypt has their new administrative capital, huge, estimated about 60 billion USD. They are attracting a lot of FDI to that project. They are moved because of the a lot of developments. In fact, when I was preparing this presentation, I found out that about 50%, about half of the foreign direct investments that should have come to Africa last year, 2024, about 50% of that went to Egypt because of the magnitude, high impact industrial, residential projects, infrastructure projects that they have in that their new administrative capital. Morocco too has an ambitious real estate and infrastructure project, which is also impacting on their GDP. East Africa, we have the major players, smart cities, logistics play from Kenya and Rwanda. Rwanda has this Green City initiative, which is huge, putting the city and the country on the global stage. Kenya has their Konza Metropolis city, which is also redefining. It's just like a mini Silicon Valley, which is bringing a lot of tech SMEs play within that space. For West Africa, that is where I currently stay and practice. Nigeria and Ghana, we have huge residential and commercial hubs cut across. I'll speak more about Nigeria as the slide goes on. But of course, we have the Dangote refinery, $20 billion project, which is also redefining investment outlook within Nigeria. We have the Eco-Atlantic City. Dr. Supun was opportune a few months ago when he came to Lagos to visit the city. We have a lot of those new, smart, sustainable, resilient cities within Lagos and Nigeria. Ghana too is doing a lot of real estate, huge projects, which are also catching the international eye, also even in terms of FDI. And of course, lastly, for Southern Africa, we've seen their mature real estate investment trusts and their institutional investments. The rates in South Africa are very strong, very matured, and they're getting a lot of institutional funding. They're using that to, this is a high impact projects across residential, commercial, that are also spinning the country in the right space. Next slide, please. Investment case for Africa. And this is where I also want to focus a bit on. So fastest growing urbanization continent. I've spoken about this. We also have rising middle class. Averagely, the average age for the median age for Africa is about 19 to 20 years, which is extremely attractive, especially when you're looking at it from a aggressive, smart, intelligent, resilient workforce. These can act as a multiplier effect. And especially when you look at it on the back of the average in Europe. The average age Europe might be about 50 to 60 years. So this is a major attraction for companies, organizations that want to set up businesses within the African continent. 3, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is in place. It will make Africa almost like Europe, almost like a single country where we can do trade, do business in a borderless way. There are huge opportunities, and even countries like Nigeria and other countries within Africa have started to take position. But there are huge opportunities. We've not even started to scratch the surface there. And lastly, high rental yields. We see yields of 6 to 12%. Asset appreciation across different nodes. We do have a few challenges in terms of transparency, especially in terms of Nigeria. We need more. We need to be more informative, especially when it comes to data sharing and giving the right information to investors. But these yields, they are quite different from what you see in other emerging societies and countries. Next slide, please. Thank you. So let me delve a bit about Nigeria, the heartbeat of the African real estate. So arguably they call Nigeria the pace setters, the leaders within the African space, but we're fastly dropping behind the likes of Egypt, like I mentioned. Even Ghana is moving pretty fast. Kenya, Rwanda, everybody is moving fast towards developing their economies. South Africa is also on the fast track. Population of Nigeria between 200 and 220 million and growing. We also have a very active middle class. Our average age youthful population is close to 90 million. These are some of the indices that a lot of foreign investors look at when they think of playing within Nigeria. It is being said that if you want an African play, you have to focus on Nigeria. We have a new government that is about 3 years old. They're trying to put policies in place to make the investment climate and ease of doing business extremely attractive, because global flow of funds, it is very selfish, and is not looking for it will move towards the best return on investment. So if it is Egypt, just like I mentioned in 2024, they're attracting 40-50% of FDIs within Africa. Lagos, one of the fastest growing mega cities within Africa, population is about 20 million. We've seen the attraction in terms of the housing shortage. Nigeria has a housing shortage of between 20 to 22 million housing shortages. Lagos has between 3 million to 3.5. These are also conversations that people that play in the affordable housing or in the luxury space also wouldn't mind coming to play and invest in Nigeria because of the huge demand. 3, government focus, infrastructure, housing, and infrastructure development. This is the government focus, but of course, there's a lot of drive even towards PPP. The government of the day cannot do it alone, even because of finance and capital shortages. And lastly, investment zones. So we have Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. We still have Benin City and Ibadan, which also have their own huge attraction. Next slide, please. Where is the smart money going? So number one, affordable and mid-income housing. Over 20 million units in deficit as a country. Lagos State, if I need to be specific, maybe between 3 to 3.5. Two, industrial and logistics real estate. We have the Lekki Free Trade Zone. We also have the Lagos Free Trade Zone. We have the Dangote Refinery. Within the state and the federal government, there is a lot of play in industrial, commercial, and in infrastructural nodes. We're doing a lot of rail lines within Lagos. We're doing a lot of bridges also, and we're looking for PPP opportunities because the numbers are there. Okay, so continental investment hotspots. Number one, Kenya. I've spoken about the Gonza Smart City Logistics Park, which is almost like a Silicon Valley, very, very attractive. It is a game changer within the Kenya space, which is making Africa a lot more attractive. Ghana. Sorry, can you take it back one, Dr. Supun?
Yes. Cặp lãng thoại lãng này.
Thank you so much. So Ghana, we have the Tema Industrial Enclave, which is real big on retail expansion. We have Rwanda Kigali digital real estate ecosystem, and policy reforms is going huge in that country. The government of Paul Kagame is putting a lot of attraction there, and they are bringing in a lot of foreign direct investments. They are building one of the largest airports. They are also doing a PPP and collaboration with the, I think it's with the Qatar Airlines, which is also good. Egypt, new administrative capital, smart housing projects. I've mentioned that. Then, of course, Morocco, you have the Casablanca Finance City, which is going to be a tourism real estate haven. Next slide, please. New frontiers and opportunity. Number one, prop tech platforms. Student and co-living housing. 3, industrial parks and data centers. We're seeing that across Lagos, Ghana, even in Uganda. Uganda has a huge waterfront. I'm sure my colleague will speak about that in terms of tourism and blue real estate in terms of high-end luxury that we have in Lagos and across different places. A challenging policy landscape. Number one, simplified land titling and registration. And Ghana and Rwanda are at the forefront. I must commend them in that regard. Nigeria is trailing behind, but we are also putting things in place to have at least all our lands fully titled and electronic. 2, rates. Real estate investment trust structures gaining traction. Of course, South Africa have a really matured REIT institutional real estate. Nigeria and Ghana moving behind the rest of Africa. 3, PPP models for infrastructure and housing. Governments cannot do it alone. They need the local players to be empowered. Just for instance, what we saw with the Dangote Refinery, being able to bring in $20 million of investment in the oil and gas space in Nigeria. If we can get this across other places within Africa, it will take us a long way. So we will empower our people, then we can get in the foreign players also to participate. Lastly, incentives for renewable and green buildings. We know the conversations around green and sustainable buildings, smart living, and of course, protecting the environment and even saving cost in the long run. Next slide, please. Africa's real estate outlook, 2025 to 2023 and beyond. Number one, residential and commercial growth. We're looking at 5 to 7% across board. Residential and logistics, fastest growing subsector. We noticed post-COVID, there's a lot of attraction. We saw the supply chain challenges from bringing in things from Europe and from China. People are putting up logistics hub. The population is within Africa, like I've spoken about, and there are a lot of opportunities in investing in this space. 3, institutional capital inflows, increasingly steadily green buildings are showing a lot of attraction in terms of commercial. we've noticed that a lot of those multinational companies, they have an affinity and an attraction towards those green sustainable buildings because of the cost over the long run. So companies and organizations that do invest in commercial in the long run will have a long-term play, and of course, return on investment also. And lastly, ESG-focused developments, like I've mentioned, gaining premium valuation and attraction across board. Next slide, please. Driving growth through collaboration. I've spoken about the PPP. So as Dr. Supun has mentioned, myself and a few of my colleagues that are on this call, FIABCI, we connect Africa to global investors. We like to have seminars and events across the world. And we have sessions that speak towards investment in Africa and collaborating, because it's not something that we can do all alone. Conversations like this kind of webinars can take us can take us forward. And also opportunities for joint ventures, PPPs across rates within Africa and even with our other jurisdictions. Next slide, please. Investing in the future together. Africa is open. Like I mentioned, our fundamentals are strong. Opportunities are real, and the time to invest is now. Invest in Africa. Let's build the future together. Next slide. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Dr. Supun, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Questions?
Kindly go to page number 2, please. Page number 2. Yes. So this is a very great presentation for today. This is the one I would like to, this is the page that we just opened for you just only for 2 seconds a moment ago. So let me show this page to you. Mr.Akin Opatola, the president of FIABCI Nigeria, and also founders and principal partner of Ola Wale Jordan company. And also a lot of profiles here with the National Association of Realtors and FIABCI Nigeria, IRWA International Right-of-Way Association. I also went to that association meeting in the US many times as well, and also some other organizations in Africa, like a Nigerian Economic Summit Group or something. So this is something about Mr. Akin. Now we have 66 participants. We have registered around 80 something, but maybe some still busy or forgot the time or something. But now we have 66. And after this webinar, we will also make the record and put it in YouTube, in Facebook, and also in TikTok, so that it will be disseminated with also your PowerPoint, your presentation as well, so that it can be disseminated and people can hear it and also can read it later on. Okay, next, this will be another presentation for today. So let me just go to Mr. David Muiru. Sorry if I do not pronounce correctly. Muiru, so he is from Kenya and registered licensed valuers, real estate consultant, and also property economics and valuation across Africa. So he also has a presentation. So Mr. Muiru, maybe you can kindly do your presentation, or do you want us to help you click the presentation? You can tell me what would you like. And now the floor is yours, please, Mr. David Muiru.
Thank you very much. I'll do the presentation.
Okay.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever part of the world that you are participating. My name is David Muiru, like Dr. Supun has said. And I want to thank the speaker, Akin Opatola, and also for Alozius Gonza, who is coming next. So beyond the headlines, investing in Africa's real estate transformation. In 1884, there was a Berlin conference in Europe where there was the scramble for Africa started. At that particular time, the Africans were not consulted, but 141 years ago, it is now scramble for Africa where the Africans are going to participate and they'll choose the partners they'll have. So beyond the headlines, investing in Africa's real estate transformation. Like the previous speaker said, Africa is the world's second largest and most populous continent with 54 countries and a population of over 1.4 billion people. It is known as a cradle for humankind, rich in diverse cultures and history, and features the Sahara Desert, the world's largest and hottest desert, the River Nile, the world's longest river, the Kilimanjaro, the highest mountain in Africa. So, and Africa is bordered by Atlantic Ocean to the west, the Mediterranean to the north, and the Indian Ocean to the east. And we have climate and features. Africa's features a variety of climates, landscapes, from the Sahara in the north to the savanna regions to the home of the animals like elephant and wild beasts. We have a coastal features. And basically that was my introduction. The managing director of Gimco Limited, a 44-year-old company, real estate, practicing in East and Central and West Africa. Why Africa? Beyond the headline. Land. Africa holds 65% of the world's remaining uncultivated arable land, with over 874 million hectares. So what does that mean? There's room for agriculture. Geography. We have 30,000 of tropical coastline that promotes tourism and blue economy. Culture. The African culture is hospitality. We talk about Ubuntu. Okay, here you will be received with the hospitality, and we welcome everybody from the world to visit us. Global investment. I want to demonstrate what one world power has done in Africa, and China has invested billions in infrastructure in Nairobi, Addis Ababa, Djibouti, and the rest of Africa. In tourism, in 2024, the tourism in Africa generated 24.5 billion. With over 100,000 hotel rooms. So there is plenty of room for that. Market momentum and investment opportunities. What are we saying? We are saying that Africa has affordable and mid-income housing units available, over 300 units. Like the previous speaker said, we have student accommodation that is generating between 15 and 18% income yield. Logistics and industrial parks are all over the world, are all over African continent. Hospitality, I've said, we have institutional and great growth that is available. We have the agricultural sector that is available, renewable energy, and vast mineral wealth that are ready for exploitation. An example of what this world power, which will demonstrate for any other European or Americans, okay? And over the last 2 decades, China has emerged as Africa's largest infrastructure partner, investing over $150 billion across the continent through its Belt and Road Initiative and bilateral agreements. These investments are not merely about roads and rails. They are reshaping urban form, land values, and real estate demand. It has developed over 10,000 kilometers of railways which have been developed, 25 to 40% land value uplift in the adjacent node. And with 150 billion invested across the continent, 100 kilometers of road, this is what you see all over Africa as you visit. But even as international investors come to Africa, we would like to alert the investment challenges that everybody needs to be aware of. And this is the room for the consultants who are on this forum, that for any investor from the world, they first need to do a feasibility studies. The international partners should hire locals to carry out feasibility study to carry out the investment. International investors should also carry out a political risk assessment and never to assume that democracy is freely practiced here. On climate, African climate allows an all year round functional weather with opportunities for investors whose countries have adverse effects. The countries should also carry out their SWOT analysis so that they are able to understand any challenges, any challenges that are there. So the international partners should engage a local consultant to carry out this SWOT analysis. And like the previous speaker has identified Nigeria as one of the countries that should be looked out, I've also looked at Kenya. And the question I'm asking, why would you want to invest in Kenya? And I'm saying that we have investment opportunities. In terms of infrastructure, we are considered to have a capital and a gateway to East Africa and Central Africa. We are a home of international organizations like UNEP, UN headquarters, and others. Accessibility. Kenya has seaports, road network, railway, and airports that are ideal. The government provides leasehold interest for investors. Kenya is a hub of Africa and upcoming East African institution with 300 million people, including Kenya's 60 million. The other thing that Kenya would enjoy, Kenya has a political stability, okay, which is democratic political systems that is a sign for good economic investment. The Kenyan people have many years of democratic political system and good economy. We also have tax incentives, which are granted by the government in all the major industrial parks and tax holidays. One of the other things that is a challenge in Africa, if you want to fly from one country to another, the biggest handicap is visa. But for your information, Kenya has opened up its boundaries and there is free visa all over the world. And this is some of the investments that have been carried out in Kenya by the Chinese companies. We have the infrastructure roads, we have railway line, and I believe this is represented all over Africa, whether you're in Angola, whether you're in Egypt, whether you're in Addis Ababa, you'll find this infrastructure that have been developed.
Excuse me,
Now, my role in this investment journey is that I'll be able to, together with my partners in this consultancy, we shall be able to provide the international investors with risk mitigation, the taxation level, the land reforms, the investment confidence, and we shall help them to support the sound investment and lending decisions. We shall ensure that there's equity and public revenue integration, and we shall be able to help them to unlock any productive investments that these international investors want to engage in.
Hello.
And finally, I want to say that in Africa, we have consultants who are well educated and they are ready to give participation, and they are all over. They are from West Africa, they are from North Africa, they are from Central Africa. And these consultants will be able to participate with all the international partners. And for me, with my 40 years, my work has been guided by the principal, and I should be able to be available together with our company, Gimco Limited, and to participate with the others to help all the other investors that are here. I want to thank the organizers of this seminar and webinar, and also my lecturer, Dr. Sopon. I'm an alumni of TREBS, and I want to thank everybody who has participated. We have a lot to offer. Africa is ready for you, and we shall be the midwives to help you land here. Thank you, and we shall be able to address any questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. David Muiru. So I pronounce your name correctly or not, Mr. David Muiru?
That is very nice, pronouncing the Chinese. Thank you.
So what is your correct pronunciation, sir?
It's Muiru, but you've got it right. Muiru.
Muiru, I see.
Yes.
Mr. David Muiru. Okay.
Hello.
So, yes, who are you?
Mr. David Muiru.
You are Mr. Anil Singh Patwa?
Yeah, this is from India.
Okay, wait for a while before you ask. Let me have the third speaker to speak first before you ask the question. So one moment, sir. In one moment. So our next speakers for today from Uganda. And his name is Mr. Alozius Gonza, and he is the executive director of the GMT Consult Limited. I remember once I went to teach mass appraisal in Uganda he is our host. And I also remember that Mr. David Muiru is also our participant at our Thai Real Estate Business School in Bangkok. And also Mr. Gonza also came later as well. So Mr. Gonza, are you okay? Ready to do the presentation? Are you here, sir? Mr. Gonza is now sharing his screen. So let's welcome Mr. Alozius Gonza, Executive Director of GMT Consult Limited, and he came from Uganda. So the floor is yours, Mr. Gonza, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sopan. Am I loud and clear? I wanted to confirm.
Yeah, I can hear you. No problem.
Okay, thank you thank you so much, Doctor. I want to begin from where David has stopped. I want to thank David for the presentation. I've previously worked with David on some assignments in Uganda, and I also want to thank the other presenter from Nigeria. I also want to thank Dr. Sopon and the TREBS team, Thai Real Estate Business Schools team, for organizing this free webinar, and all those participants that have joined in. I want to welcome you and thank you for being part of this. Alozius Gonza is my name. I work with a firm called GMT Consults Limited. This is the last one here. I'm a member of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. I'm also the president for CASO for Africa. CASO is the Commonwealth Association for Survey and the Land Economy. We are here to do a presentation on Africa real estate overview as an outlook for investment, looking at Africa as an opportunity for investment. And while the subject could be literally the same, we have different dimensions of presenting it, and I think also different areas of concentration. So I want to thank, first of all, Doctor, for the opportunity, and I want to thank everyone that has logged in for this webinar. I will welcome questions after the presentation, but I will begin from how up to date, and this is a challenge that we still have as Africa. Up to date, this is how people look at Africa generally. I don't know whether my slides are moving. I want to confirm that the slides are moving. Doctor, are my slides moving?
Yes, your slide is moving.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, fine.
This is how most people continue to look at Africa, especially those that have not visited Africa or those that have not reached Africa. They associate Africa with poverty, they associate Africa with the backwardness, they associate Africa with the limited investment, and not an area that should be looked at as a priority for investment. And this is the picture that we usually have. And I have had a number of colleagues coming here from Western countries, and most of them, when they move around, they get a different impression of what they thought previously was what was in their mind. So I always encourage people that you come and visit, you come and look at the environment, and probably make an informed decision based on what you want to do. And this is a good opportunity to encourage that, and also to encourage other people to come. This is what literally Africa is currently, I would say, in some areas, not entirely, but in some areas. The picture up is how you see Ghana is, and the picture down is Kampala, where I am. So the environment, when you compare the two pictures, the one up and the one down, a lot of people don't understand that there's actually a lot of growth that has been going on, but also a lot of transformation that is hidden, that people probably are not familiar with and that are not aware about. And therefore, not being able to come and take advantage in the opportunities that are available in our market, and that we are able to provide as a continent. This presentation is broken into, basically, since most of people have talked about real estate, I will not go so much into the definition of real estate and what, but I will look at, and I think it has also been looked at by other colleagues, I'll look at African FDIs and their targets. These are foreign direct investments. how are they coming in, and what's their target areas, and what's driving this real estate growth in Africa. And then which sectors are on demand, what yields should we be expecting for the different sectors in terms of yield to income, what yields are we expecting in terms of yield to income, and then which challenges. Some of these have already been spoken about, but I will just emphasize in my presentation as well. Real estate, in a simple definition, we are looking at investments that are being occurred on land and then the structures. This could be permanent structures or temporary structures, but also it could be just vacant land, where a person invests in vacant land, and that is very too much here in Africa and in Uganda in particular. The sectors of real estate of concentration, we can look at residentials. People can invest in residentials. They can invest in vacation homes in Africa, especially given our weather environment that is tend to be a little bit much different from the Western environment. People can invest in vacation homes. This is again lucrative here in Africa, where during different seasons there is a tendency for people to shift this side and take advantage of the environment here, but also do their activities from here, as opposed to the other side. So we have a increasing investment in apartments. This is quite booming currently in Africa, and also office and warehouse investment as part of real estate. But also we have shopping centers and shopping areas. These are significantly being developed, and they are coming up in Africa. Same applies to investment in land. And what we call land is basically land delivery. There are people who basically buy land, organize it, provide it with services, and then put it back on the market. And that is also a huge market within Africa. So you just buy it probably from other people, and then you organize it, including provision of services, provision of water, provision of power, and road network. And then you also do secure tenure on them, you do titling on them, and then you put it back on the market. And this is also an area of investment as a real estate in Africa. FDIs, we see that while the global value of FDIs is to almost $1.6 trillion, this is the global value of foreign direct investments in movements that are doing across the world. It is $1.6 trillion. You can see the developed countries taking as much as possible, almost $807 million. That's last year, but $626 billion. That is this 2024. So Africa has just a small share. So actually, you can see down there, Africa. We are having, there was a growth actually of about 75%, from $55 billion to $97 billion. But this growth is largely attributed to a project in Egypt. There's an ongoing project in Egypt, Ras El Hekma Urban Development Project, which alone is a major contributor of this growth of real estate investment. But also, that project signifies, it's a frontier project that signifies a rising interest in investment in Africa, but also in investment in urban development and the frontiers that are especially real estate that are attracting investment. These inflows are coming from different sectors. I will speak to that. But what we can see is, again, across Africa, North Africa seemingly has had a larger attraction of this investment, and the same applies to West Africa as compared to Central and East Africa. Although East Africa stands relatively higher in terms of investment projects compared to Central Africa and compared to Southern Africa. So for investors that are looking at investing in Africa, this can give you an indication of which areas are attracting funding, and probably a major interest in which areas that you can target your money as well. Africa, I know, for example, is having an increased investment in oil and gas. You can look at areas in Uganda, areas in Kenya, even in Tanzania. There are a lot of investment in extractives, oil and gas. And this investment in extractives has what you would call a ripple effect on real estate investment, because you have an increase in investment or in the desire for high quality residential houses, apartments. I talked about it already initially. You have an increase in desire for high quality residential apartments. condominium apartments, or some people call it sectorions for residentials. We have an increase in the desire for logistics and warehousing services across these areas, both in the extractive areas where this is taking place, but also in the cities where the offices are being located for most of these areas. And then that investment environment is creating a rising middle income class within our regions and within Africa. That rising middle class is in itself attracting a higher income group that is demanding for better quality for residentials, better quality for office space, and better quality for retail commercial areas, and then also better quality for goods. That has an impact on the real estate sector in general, and that creates an environment where the real estate sector in general becomes a lucrative environment for investment, especially for a person that is looking at investing in Africa. That speaks to the broader environment, but I will speak at the investment opportunities and then which are the targets, which areas are we looking at. I've already highlighted the energy and gas sector. This currently emerges as a leading sector, especially for foreign direct investment, but also for people who are investing in Africa. What that is doing is that you have a number of greenfield projects that are beginning, that are increasingly becoming robust, becoming larger. You have much bigger hotels that are coming up to tap into the real estate sector, but also to tap into the oil and gas sector. You have an increase in number of expatriates that are coming in because the oil sector is still in a nascent area, especially for East Africa and other areas. The oil sector is still in a nascent area. You have a number of expatriates that are coming through. And these ones are looking at where they can be residing, issues of their families and their communities where they can be staying. And that in itself is creating a market of itself. So we have a lot of development, and you have in the mineral sector, there are also, you can look at areas like Ghana, where the increase in gold mining activities has attracted a lot of investment, but that also has an impact on the local environment, on the local communities, and an increase in the disposable income, but also the change in class relatively from the low to middle and even to higher income for some classes. Now that has an impact on the residential development. Therefore, if a person is seeking to develop in real estate, you would want to target middle income real estate, especially for condominiums and apartments. This can be for rent, it can be for rent, or it can be for sale, where you sell them as condominiums that are directly sold on the market. So you have a block of flats that is having about 20 or 50 flats, and each of them is being put on the market for sale. And that becomes an opportunity for real estate investment, especially for Africa and even here in Uganda. There is also the opportunity of mergers and acquisitions, where you don't want to set foot, especially in some African countries, and you're an investor and you don't want to set foot in Africa. You can actually look at the opportunity of mergers and acquisitions. And this is seen in, for example, in banking or even in ICT sector. We see real estate companies also doing mergers. We have seen franchises being created here in Africa. Some of them are very performing, like Night Frank. They are very performing. We have Brawl, that is very performing, highly performing. And these are opportunities where, as opposed to coming and locally set up, you can actually take advantage of local knowledge, and you identify firms that are already existent in Africa, and you collaborate with them, work with them, and tap into the opportunities without directly setting foot as an investor on the ground. We have an increase in the industrial sector, and most of the African countries have invested heavily in what we would call industrial zones, which tend to be coming with certain opportunities. These are economic zones and industrial zones that have been created. We have some in Uganda, and we have others in other countries, Africa, in Kenya, and also in Ghana. These create an opportunity where you can come and invest in some industrial sector with certain exemptions on taxes, and that can create huge benefits for an investor in terms of how long you start paying taxes. You can have a tax waivers as long as you meet investment requirements for the investment authorities that are in these areas, you can take advantage of those tax benefits. You look into them, you review them, and then see, okay, to what extent can this create a return in my investment portfolio as an investor? And this becomes an opportunity. We have the ICT sector that is increasingly becoming very, very, very vibrant. A lot of digital economy is ongoing. We see increasingly a lot of cashless transactions coming on board. But this comes with the creation of server areas, and because we still have an issue, especially in real estate, ICT real estate, where we have no server areas, we have no server infrastructure, we have no. Most of these things are still being relied on externally, especially in European and maybe Chinese economy, but largely in Western global hemisphere. So I would see an opportunity for investors who would want to invest in ICT sector by investing in server environments and digital servers that people can then tap in for purposes of data security, but also for purposes of data storage. And that could significantly increase speed for data provision here. And given that we have these new sectors that are coming through, especially from oil and gas, that have high data service requirements and data storage requirements, then a person who invests in such a sector can actually benefit hugely in them. Then you also have the goodwill of the African governments who are seeking to see how they can tap in these areas, but also support investors to invest in these areas. So I look at these as serious opportunities for real estate investment away from the traditional real estate that we are aware of, but also now looking at where the economies are going and where the market generally is going, the shift in the market, and then saying, okay, how do we take advantage of this? So on, we see most of the investment going into construction sector, and the construction sector contributing significantly. It's actually contributing between 7% and 15% of the GDPs of these African economies. So what that means is that there is actually a benefit if a person invested in construction materials, and the companies that have invested in construction materials have significantly performed very well. That is an area of real estate in itself, but it could be looked at as industrial real estate. So you are either investing in cement production or you're investing in steel production. We see a lot of companies that are resident in Africa already significantly increasing their production capacities of cement, increasing upscaling their investments in steel. This is evident in companies like roofing, companies like Dangote Steel, which have significantly increased their footprint in Africa, based on the fact that there is too much investment in construction currently and too much construction activities going on. You could see a rise of close to $19 billion just in the last five financial years, 2023, 2024. And then $1.5 billion in the metal factor. The 19 is in construction sector. So anyone who is actually investing in construction related sector, in terms of either constructing materials, you are investing in tiles manufacturing. This is now too much in Uganda. There is too much of tile manufacturing. We have new companies that have set up shop to do tile manufacturing, and others are still.
Mr. Gonza,
these are areas.
Mr. Gonza, one more minute. 1 more minute.
Yeah, okay, 1 more minute. So the other sectors that I would just quickly go through, we have the education sector. People are investing in schools. These are sectors that can be tapped into. We have the health service sector, where you invest in hospitals. A lot of people move away from Africa and they are either going to India or going to Europe for medical services. So if you invested in high quality and high value health facilities, you are likely going to tap into that market that is moving. Actually, government is the largest consumer of medical services, and most of the government officials in Africa tend to move out of Africa to go for medical services. So if a person invested in this area, that could actually be a very good area of investment. Same applies to transportation. Some people have already talked about it, and then the chemicals industry, but also the agriculture sector. Food production is very key, and people who are invested in agriculture are seriously reaping a lot of benefits. I would say the yields, because I have 1 minute, the yields, I would not go so much into it. What yields are we expecting? But for raw land, you are looking at 20% return on land if you invested in raw land. For residential, I mean prime residential and office space, you are looking at 6 to 10% in some of the markets and some of the areas. You have office rents that are ranging from about $10, and in extreme cases, you have $35 per square meter as rent for office and for commercial real estate, which is quite significantly high, and a good return on investment. I would finalize by looking at the opportunities in Uganda. Uganda is linked to many African countries. It's a landlocked country. So if you invest in Uganda, you have a link to very many African countries that are nearby you in terms of real estate investment. The opportunities in the oil and gas sector, which is very nascent and which is going to spur investment and development. It's actually already doing that. Already about $3 billion has already been invested, and this is seen to project to go to about $20 billion in the next 5 to 10 years in terms of investment. And the population growth still in Africa is quite significant. 3% is too high, and it shows us its opportunities in terms of real estate investment as there is demand for residential housing and office space. Then we have ease of opening up of business. I would want to summarize with the challenges that tend to cut across Africa. We have a challenge of real estate data availability. And any person who is looking for real estate data will have a challenge. This becomes a challenge that investors must be aware of. And also, even the data that is available, how reliable is it that it can be used to actually do proper projections of income analysis and expenditure analysis? And then you can actually use it to make your projections as an investor. This becomes a challenge for almost all investors, which can be looked at by doing a proper feasibility study, engaging the right professionals, but also doing a proper investment framework. You can do a proper real estate investment framework that is customized for Africa, that can help you to drill down into these issues and then see how you can tap into it. Then we have high borrowing costs. It's still a challenge in Africa. Some lenders have gapped it up by
so I have 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 seconds. I'm okay.
30 seconds.
Some lenders I'm okay. Some lenders have gapped up the investment gap by attracting financing from their home area and then using that to finance. And that's why we are having a lot of high FDIs that are coming through, especially for investors that are attracting financing from their areas. Then the land tenure complexes. We have land tenure issues in Africa. And this is something that investors should be aware about. And then we have recently, there's a structuring of investment where we see some investments now moving to Asia and Eastern Europe and Central America, as opposed to being here. And that becomes a challenge for real estate investment. Unpredictable political environment, I think those are all I can say. I want to thank you so much. I've spoken
thank you very much
quite
indeed.
fast.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you so much for everyone that has been listening.
Okay.
Thank you
so
much.
now we will have, thank you very much for your informative information indeed. We have Mr. Kainuma from Japan, Mr. Thomas Hengley from Switzerland, and Mr. Anil Patel from India. A moment ago he came at home. Madam Carol Whitney from New Zealand, Mr. Clayton Wade from USA, but he is in Thailand, and Mr. Bobby Su from the Philippines, and many others. Anyone would like to ask for any question or something, you can kindly ask. We will have another 10 minutes for this, please. Or any comments so far? The floor is yours. Anyone else?
Dr. Sopan?
Yes, sir. Mr. Clayton
Yes,
Wade, how are you?
I'm very good. I really enjoyed this. I have no questions. They were very, very thorough. I learned a lot today, but I'm excited about Africa. I've been talking for a long time about China and India. India's got 50% of their population under 25. And what I learned today about Africa is just terribly exciting. I just want to say you guys were great today, and Africa is rising.
Yes, indeed. Anyone else? Mr. Kainuma, Mr. Anil Singh? And
Hello?
Yes, please. I hear you.
I want to speak. I want to say about the Muru. He present very nice presentations about Kenya. And whereas Kenya is concerned, they have a lot of area and they have lot of minerals in Africa.
Yeah, see.
And if they will utilize these minerals, because I visited and worked there for some times, and I visit so many places in Kenya. It is very good country. And if the African have some stability of the law and order situation in all African country, so I will say the next time will be the African. Okay, that is the major problem. Okay, and second thing is because if you see the India, China, and the country, the lot of people, there is a overpopulated country. India, China is overpopulated country. Okay, and there is no any natural resources and the food. A quality food is not will be available in this country. There is lot of adulteration in every area in India. In you see the China country also. So in Africa, they have a lot of greenery and forests and a lot of minerals which can be utilized for the economic activity. If they will utilize the economic activity to, if you see the cement, India is using the flying ash, which is the, from the thermal power they are using and just putting this dump to the cement, and the quality of cement is very poor.
See.
If you
Thank
see
you.
if you see the Kenya, there is a Pozolana. Pozolana is a kind of a stone. Then you are utilizing 20-30% in kind of a cement with gypsum and clinkers. But I think if they will utilize their thing, they don't need anybody like China investment, because China is this is financial trap for a country, because giving 6% and utilizing their skill, they are not utilizing them kind of local person or local infrastructure, local kind of inputs to build these things. So it is very difficult for a country to sustain. Okay, so I
Yes.
think if they
So,
will utilize their resources very well, don't need anybody else country, including China, India, anybody else. They can grow independently and their own way, I think.
okay, so let me just say a little bit. He has a lot of a lot of observation, Mr. Anil. Thank you very much. But we also have Madam Cherry Johnson Niobium from the president of FIABCI USA. Do you have anything to say? If you like, you can say as well. And we have Mr. Ivo Kostov from Bulgaria and some other people. Anyone like to contribute? Like Mr. Anil, he has a lot of good contribution indeed. Maybe you can put in writing so that I can put it in our link so that you can people can see your idea, your thought as well. Mr. Anil, you may kindly do that. And anyone else would like to ask any question or would like to say anything, please? Anyone else?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, sir. I am speaking from Nepal.
Nepal, yes, please.
Yes, sir. So I am a property valuer. I provide my services to a few commercial banks in Nepal.
Yes.
So looking at the scenario, I was wondering how people from Nepal's developing countries can provide our services to the international world. So since there is a lot of boom happening all over the globe, we new young entrepreneurs and service providers, how can we reach out and provide our services?
Maybe we can do a session on Nepal in the future. And also our colleague from India, Mr. Anil Singh Patel, can also give us some good idea on this. Anyone else like to contribute anything for today, please?
Doctor, can I make some small response on
please.
that?
Yes, please.
Thank you, and I think for the colleagues from Nepal, what I can say is they are, I would say, especially for service providers, they are what you would say, we call them JV, joint venture collaborations and associating collaborations that can be made. And this is so much in the World Bank funded projects, because the World Bank is the largest funder for investment projects, and also other development banking funding institutions. So what we could do, or what can be done, which we have done, I think we are doing some work. I'm in Uganda, based in Uganda, but we are doing work in Malawi. We're also doing work in Mozambique. We very soon doing work in South Sudan, and then we have done some proposals in Sierra Leone. But the issue is in collaboration. So if we could identify areas of collaboration by sharing experts, but also by sharing information, which areas can you come in and which areas we can tap into, then collaboration can help us to tap into those other markets, which could be in Nepal and other areas, and also you also collaborating and doing work in Africa, as opposed to being only remaining in Nepal or me remaining in Africa alone. I think that's what I could comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other contribution? You can kindly tell us.
Right. David here.
Yes, Mr. Muiru, please.
Thank you. I want to thank Mr. Clayton from Switzerland and Mr. Neil and also Mr. Sidraj. Let me say this, that in Africa, we have so many consultants, whichever side of Africa that people need to tap, whether it's from south, north, west, east, or central, and we shall be able to facilitate all the answers that any investor from the world would like to have answers. Dr. Sopon has our contacts, which you can share with the rest of the team, and people will be free to contact us. We shall be ready to be your partners and to provide you with a landing base and with all the critical information that you may need. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Akin, do you have anything to say? Any last words, Dr. Mr. Akin Opatola, our president of FIABCI Nigeria, please.
Yes, I would just like to share that trust is a very key currency. We've all spoken very well on this platform. I want to thank Dr. Supun again for putting this together. Trusted professional networking associations like FIABCI can help connect professionals across. One of my colleagues spoke about hand-holding and also regarding feasibility and viability studies before entering any market within Africa. That is very key. You need to get a local trusted partner. Those will be my final thoughts. But thank you everyone for listening, and thank you Dr. Supun for putting this amazing knowledge sharing webinar together. Thank you.
Yeah. So in this case, we will put all the presentation in YouTube, in Facebook and TikTok, and also your presentation, like the PowerPoint here, we will put together so that you can download it yourself. For those who already registered and already in this webinar, you have no need to have any code or something. Yeah, they will send to you directly, and then maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow or something, so that everyone will get the information. We think that knowledge is not private property. We should share, and it is a very good idea to have you three gentlemen to kindly tell us about this. Actually, today we should have a moderator from Spain. She's a ladies, but she cannot make it today, maybe next time. So today they are all 4 men here. Okay, so maybe we just end our session today and see you again next time. For your information, on December 2 to 5, we have an event, Global Leadership Summit in Panama City. So you can kindly join us as well. This will be a very good, great event of real estate in the world, because this is organized by FIABCI International, our headquarters, and there will be and many other things as well. Next month will be a webinar, but this webinar will be something about business valuation, and this is very interesting indeed. The man who will be speaking will come from Canada. I will put everything together and send to all of you so that you can attend next time. So thank you very much for today, and all the best to you. Take care. Bye bye, sir. God bless you. Good night, good evening, and good morning.
Great.
Bye bye.
Thank you so
Great
much.
webinar.
Yeah, take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye bye, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.